It was changed. The calendar opens as the 24th. We have a fundraiser on March 6th at Applebee's. Look forward to seeing everyone purchase tickets and come and have breakfast with us. And if you can mark your calendar for our PTSA social on April 7th at the Stuart Manor Country Club in Stuart Manor. And anybody who wants to consider being on the PTSA board next year, we will be looking for volunteers. Everyone is welcome. Just send us an email at whptsa@aol.com and let us know that you're interested in joining the board. And we'll be happy to contact you and talk to you, or talk you into it.
I don't think you're allowed to say that. On the other hand, another agenda. What's the point of this?
March 6th. At 8 a.m.
I'll buy a raffle.
And there will be raffles. There will be baskets that we're raffling off.
Okay. Do we have a PTA person in the audience? If you're on virtually, just unmute yourself. Mr. Brancato, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Oh, wow, get now, so. You should do.
You should be able to do it now. Vince just fixed something. Can you try again?
You just did it now, so.
All right, third time's a charm, Mr. Brancato, if you could unmute.
I think you've got me now. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, minutes for the PTA. Good evening, everybody. We want to make the point that our social, which is listed on the district calendar for this coming Thursday, has been moved. It'll be taking place on May 5th at Stuart Manor. More information about the social will be sent in the coming weeks. Sixth grade parents, please be sure to support the sixth grade fun day committee's fundraisers. Ensure that the children have a really great full day of fun. If you haven't sent in photos for the yearbook, please do so by the end of this week. We don't want your child to be missing from the yearbook. We're going to be looking for nominations for our 22-23 PTA board next month. Be on the lookout for a flyer if you're interested in joining the board, or if you know somebody who might be a good fit. And if you are interested in helping with the nominating committee, please sign up in the joint committee book at our next meeting, which will be on Monday, February 28th at 7:30 p.m. That's the last day of February in George Washington cafeteria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Brancato. Do we have a SEPTA representative in the virtual audience? Okay. With that, we'll move on to student representatives. Katie Andre.
Hello. So the yearbook, they're still on sale, but you have to get them before February 18th to be guaranteed a book. Last Friday was PS I Love You Day, and which was to bring awareness to mental health. And we wrote nice letters to people. We could be anonymous or not. We wrote a chain of kind sayings and words with Post-its. We placed Post-its. We could either share them with people or we could put them on lockers so that when they came in, they saw something great to bring their day. For athletics, the winter season is over for everyone but the girls basketball team. They made it to the semifinals. The game will be on February 21st at 11 a.m. against Cold Spring Harbor. You have to buy your ticket before the game to go and see the game. It'll be $11. That's all I have for today.
Thank you very much. I can tell you that you can go home and study now, but I don't know if anyone came out or not.
I drove her.
Well, then you can go home and study and just leave her. Okay. That being said, we're going to move on to Superintendent's report this week. Much.
Well, good evening and welcome. I'm not going to go through the whole presentation as last time, but I'll do a quick review. Well, I had it set, I hit the wrong button, it's my fault. So some of the things that we looked at and gave thought to as we presented this last time was ideas such as school population demographics, enrollment, community needs, district vision, fiscal responsibility, academic program, administrative and staff structure, and our pursuit of innovative ideas and reimagining the 21st century. Some of the questions that we gave thought to were how do we align our district vision pre-K to 12? How can we design a comprehensive pre-K 12 program? How can we meet the rising expectations of NICET, as we discussed last time? They are what they've determined to reimagine education. And as you may recall, I just wanted to point out, we had sent 2 student representatives to a conference, all student representatives in Nassau County, which they had the opportunity to speak to their ideas and concerns for the future. Other questions, again, how can we be fiscally responsible, and how can we really discuss enrollment? As we know, it has definitely changed over the past decade or so. I'd also like to point out as well, there was some concerns with regards to whether or not we will be shutting one side of the building, which we are not. There's no need to. We're not going to put 7th grade students with 12th grade students. We will maintain busing structure as it is. There's only 3 buses, as you know. 2 go to the high school, 1 go to the middle school. Was some concern about that. We don't have many buses for public school students in terms of transportation. The bell schedule will remain the same. Part of the smart bond, excuse me, as part of the smart bond, we'll be getting new bell systems, upgrade them, but other than that won't change. Maintain a couple of offices. Obviously, the main office will still be in high school. We'll have a satellite office in middle school for middle school students to address their needs. So I only have received a few additional questions in writing. I'd like to address those at this time. The first one was the savings on elimination of 1 principal versus the addition of assistant principals. Just to be clear, we did go with that model of 1 principal, 3 assistant principals. We'd only be adding 1 principal, one assistant. Excuse me. So not more than 1. We already have 2 currently. So the savings would be anywhere from $25,000 to $45,000, depending on how it all works out. The second question was on average, how many staff retire each year and what is the average salary? We did discuss this last time, but just as a point of review, when a teacher typically retires, not always, they retire with on step 24. Most of them will have their master's plus 60 credits. Not everybody does, but most of them will. So in a using round numbers, the average salary is about $130,000. As I said, as Mr. Hoffman, I believe, had asked the last time, teachers are going to retire regardless whether we stay middle school, high school, or become a secondary school. So this has nothing really to do with its ancillary in nature, but we are in a unique situation as we do have a number of retirements occurring, more than usual. Usually have 1 a year, 2 a year. This year we already have 4. We're hearing that there might be a couple more, and then we know the next couple of years, there'll be 5, so each year as we move forward. So we'll take each retirement on a case-by-case basis. May not need to replace a teacher. We didn't. Then we could save approximately that money. If we need to replace a teacher, we typically hire somewhere between step 1 and step 5, as you can see there, and their salaries would range in that neighborhood of $60,000 to $70,000. Again, using round numbers, so the savings would be. So I believe that answers all of those questions. And then there was one last question. If the governor has her way and allows for homeowners to rent out part of their homes, what is the impact on the school system of taking in more students with no tax base increase, since they are renters and not owners? Also, the big unknown, other than if this will happen, is how many children will be added to the system, right? That's the problem. We don't really know what the impact is at this time. We'll have to evaluate it if it even occurs. So it's something to keep in the back of our mind as we move forward. But we would have to do that regardless of this discussion here. It's part of what we have to do for this discussion. So those are the questions that were asked between the last meeting and now. So I don't know if you all have any other questions, but I'll be happy to answer them at this time.
These questions all came from one person? There's
They
been
did.
no other,
No. I checked it before. There were no additional questions.
and I know it was a big concern, and I just want to make sure that people in the audience were able to hear what you were saying, because I'm being told that the audio is not great today.
Okay.
So just I want to go over some of the concerns that we heard from the audience and some people last time. I think the big concern was that some people who didn't understand the structure of our buildings currently at the secondary plant now, I want to make sure that they understand that the 7th and 8th graders are not being mixed in with the 12th graders, that there's going to be no difference in necessarily their regular schedule or their regular day. They are still maintaining the one side of the building, and the high school students 9 through 12 are maintaining the south side of the building.
Correct.
They will not be eating lunch together. They will not be having gym class together. That was a major issue. There were some people, like I said, the last time we met, that didn't even realize that the 7th and 8th graders are actually in the same complex as the 12th graders now. So that was a concern. So I think we alleviated those questions prior. And with the decline in the enrollment, I think we all discussed that it did seem to be fiscally responsible to do so if it meant that we could combine certain, whether it was faculty or whatever. What's changing, if anything changes, is truly the administrative structure of the complex, not so much the day-to-day actions for the students. So I just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that. And I'm sure that when we get to the period for district residents to ask questions, I'm sure there will be more questions about that. Does anybody from the board have anything to question or anything that they remembered from last week that they needed to ask about?
My
Not on
question
the-
was answered last time.
It was on, okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna let you continue your report, and then you're gonna do anything else?
I'll just give a brief update on the bond work. We are inching closer to the finish line. Middle school gym, making the way. We hope to have that sometime in the beginning of spring season. So that's exciting. Putting the finishing touches on the high school library media center. The ribbon cutting ceremony. There are a few little things here and there that we're working on to complete. So that is now open to students. We're excited about that. The preschool is open, as we know. We are doing some work there. That will continue. It does not interfere with the students or the teachers at this time, but there is some masonry work that needs to be done, as we know. They'll continue that work into the break, and that'll probably go right through until June, I would think. But that type of work that needs to get done. Some of the paving in the back of the middle school needs to get done, but obviously obviously with the weather, the temperatures being cold, we have to wait for it to get warmer. So we do that work. And I'm just trying to think about that. Overall, GW are in good shape. Auditorium, we're just waiting for some supplies to come in, electronic equipment, things of that nature. Unfortunately, like everyone just says, COVID supply chain issue. So that's the phrase I'll use. It's just back ordered. It's somewhere on a shipping container somewhere. So when it comes in, we'll complete it, and that'll be fully done, and it'll be beautiful. And hoping that the high school play will be able to take place for many reasons. COVID numbers now down. Today we were at 0.2% here in the district, so we're looking at that number closely every day. We hope that maintains. We'll see big marker will come back after break, see how students return. So if that number as well, really begin to have conversations about fully reopening schools. I will not get into the masks issue. That's up to the governor, and we'll make that decision at that time. Well, I think as far as the bond, we're in good shape there. So we're happy. It's almost growing to a conclusion, and then we look forward to giving tours to the community so that they can see where their tax dollars went and celebrate this great work.
Thank you so much. Gonna stay there?
Oh, well, I guess I could see.
It's up to you. Your call, up or down. You're gonna leave thing. So at this point, we have reached the period for district residents, Highland Park residents, and or employees of the district to address the board. This individual will be limited to 3 minutes of non-confidential agenda items with an overall maximum of 20 minutes if needed. I'm going to take questions from the live audience first. As you know, just identify yourself and then ask your question, and then I'm going to go out to the virtual audience and see who has a question. So if you're on the computer and you have a question, please just raise your hand, and I'll call on you in a moment. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Asha Brown. On behalf of the West Hempstead varsity cheerleading team, we just want to say thank you to the board, Mr. Riemann, Ms. Riley, Mr. Press, and of course, Mr. Mastretta for allowing us to attend nationals. It was really a phenomenal experience to go to UCA and be on the mat and perform, but also to see the other cheerleading squads performing. A team that we actually met at UCA camp over the summer performed as well, and teams we have relationships with, like Division, also performed. It's really cool to see for cheerleading specifically as a sport. There's no professional cheerleading, it ends at the college level. So for that reason, and also because of the prestige of UCA, it's just a really big deal to be able to witness that kind of competition and performance, especially for the JV girls and any of the underclassmen that came with us. And for me as a senior, this was the end of my cheer career. It was really monumental. So thank you guys so much.
Some cotton candy. He's really struggling today. I think you guys wore him out.
Cotton candy works every time, right, Mastretta?
And a big gulp.
And a big gulp, yeah. I do want to just say, I was going to speak about cheer at the end, but I just want to congratulate you guys. I did see the routine. I'm sure most of us did. You guys did a phenomenal job. We are very proud of you. And we know you had a fabulous time. I did get to see a lot of the pictures that Mrs. Mastretta was posting. So it's a wonderful experience when you guys get to go do stuff like that. And we like to try to allow for that to happen as best we can. So thankfully the numbers went down and you guys were able to go. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
If you want to go, you have homework.
I do have a question.
Oh, all right. You want to go first then?
Yes. I don't know if it's in the agenda, so I'm so sorry if it is.
Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So Mr. Raymond said that retirement is being handled on a case-by-case basis. Is that regarding the replacement of the teachers that are retiring?
I misunderstood. I don't
I
know.
think if I'm understanding what he's saying correctly, Asha. So I'm going to just make up a scenario, right? So let's say we have a teacher who retires in fix whole studies. And so we were looking at our current enrollment numbers, what courses kids were enrolled in, right? Because we're doing that right now.
Mhm.
We actually moved that online. I don't know, you might not be aware because you're going on to bigger and better things, but we moved the process online. And so we might not need a full teacher.
Mhm.
I'd only need like, classes go by 0.2s.
Yes.
So 5.2s make a full-time
Mhm.
teacher. You might only need a 0.8. So
Okay.
we might just hire a teacher as a 0.8.
Okay.
But, you know, we have to take that on a case-by-case basis.
So is that dealing with like, you can't like start looking for a replacement until the one teacher actually retires?
Correct.
So there's no like preliminary measure or pre-measure that you can take in the replacement teachers?
So for example, we had Miss Healy retired in the middle school.
Yeah.
Okay, we had to replace her with a full-time teacher. She has classes already.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but I think if I'm understanding correctly, I think she's asking, do we look for the teacher prior to,
Yeah, like is there like something that you guys
like we
do?
have one holding in the wings somewhere, you mean?
Not really holding in the wings, but
No, we do an interview process. We post the jobs typically for 10 days, and then we go through an interview process.
I think she's asking.
like how far, like
She means before the retirement is
We can't do it
official.
until,
Oh, we can't until we accept the retirement.
okay, so you have to wait until, so like you can know a teacher is retiring
No, I know.
at a certain time, but you can't start
Yeah,
looking.
until they-
I'll use Miss Healy's example. So Miss Healy came to central office. She told us she was retiring. We accepted her letter,
Mhm.
but it has to be approved at a board meeting.
Okay,
So we had to wait. So we can post for an anticipated opening at that point, but we still can't. We still have to go through the whole process.
okay,
Sorry, does that make more sense?
yes.
Mr. Sargent, you had your hand up.
Mr. Raymond, your presentation, you said two things I really liked. You talked about the library, you talked about the COVID numbers going down, for two other people to see how the money got spent. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
This past Saturday, I had the opportunity to take my daughter to a place called Westbury Arts. We're in Westbury. And in honor of Black History Month, they had an exhibit going on. And Dr. Rivers was one of the artists who had things exhibited. And in fact, she was there and did an amazing job with two young girls explaining her work and the motivation and how she does it. Just throwing an idea out there for the board and the administration, wouldn't it be nice if we could take the work of one of our directors, put it on display as the centerpiece for the other work in the art program that's going on here, and invite the community to come in and see that and do it up in the library. All it is a thought, a suggestion, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Hi, just two questions. I'm looking at the Board of Ed calendar, and I feel like this might have happened before, but it says there was an educational presentation. Cornwall, look, it's online, it's on the website now, but I guess that's not.
Because of this change, because we're discussing the secondary 7 through 12 discussion, we had to move those.
So the online calendar, that's
That's
been changed.
that's my fault for not changing.
Okay. No, because on January 18th, the same thing had happened
Right,
with
with the
the,
GW presentation.
yeah, the GW, but no presentation is there.
Not for Cornwall, no.
And the second question was, thank you. The second
You're
question was, with the change of the plant. I guess athletic teams is still a middle school team and all
Yeah.
that other stuff.
That all stays the same.
Stays the same.
Okay.
We have to build those programs, not reduce them.
But whatever middle school,
Middle school remains middle school sports because it's per Section 8 rule.
yeah. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. McGrath.
Lorraine Magaracci, resident and co-president of West Hempstead Soccer Club. I have a couple of questions. One, being that our COVID numbers are down, I was here in December with submitting permits for indoor gym use. And I was upfront where I said I just wanted to be tabled, and because I knew after Christmas break we'd reach the 2 years, but we're below 1%. Our play is happening, which is amazing. I'm so happy to hear. Our school teams are playing, which is amazing, and I'm happy to hear. So are we getting gym time? Well, I'd be happy to hear. I just want to be upfront and say that I've always thanked you guys, and I think we've been working well together since COVID hit. You guys took a chance on us, and it wasn't just us that were grateful, it was the community. But our surrounding towns, Franklin Square, for instance, have gym times 3 times a week. They've been using it, like all through. I didn't even ask for it because of, waiting for us to be at a good point. Normally, I would say we're already mid-February, we'll be outside soon, but Mother Nature seems to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
So
We'll be outside tomorrow, it's gonna be.
we'll be
60
outside
degrees.
tomorrow, but we might be under 4 feet of snow next week. So at least if I had the option, other towns are. So people in West Hempstead that are looking to play are finding places to play. And I would rather be able to have it here.
Yeah, well, honestly, we're gonna wait till right after break, and there'll be a number of announcements coming from state ed, and we get to monitor the numbers. We're also, I sent a connect ed, I don't know if you would have gotten this one, but, we're sending home test kits for the kids as per New York State orders, so kids can test themselves before they come back. So we'll get a better gauge on that at that point, then we can.
So it would be
We'll have
another 2 weeks after that.
Well, no, we have a meeting,
So
we
like
have a meeting
May
every week in
1st, I could
March.
have the gym.
So I would
We have
guess,
a meeting every week in March.
Okay.
so I guess we could discuss, we would be able to discuss it then.
Okay, and then another, it's not really a question, but just, I'm gonna be attending to the PTA meeting, which I think is the Monday right after break.
I think so.
There was another car accident today at the corner of Hempstead Avenue and Cornwall. I'm not sure if you're aware. Thankfully, this time it wasn't right before pickup, it was after pickup. But it really is becoming a concern, and I know you guys are trying, and the community really needs to stand up for this because they're not understanding. If you think I'm overreacting, I do not have a child there. I do pick up there every day. And today, by sitting there waiting for dismissal on Cornwall Avenue, a car flew around, which most likely came off of the Southern State. Minimum was going between 50 and 60 past me on Cornwall Avenue. Had he come out 10 minutes sooner, there would have been like 5 families standing in the middle of the road. So I even spoke to one of the National County police officers that filled in for our crossing guard one day, and they recognized the problem too. So the community is going to have to speak up and go to Bruce Blakeman's office.
Right.
I suggest writing letters because from what I'm understanding, they are very quick to turn a blind ear and eye to, they listen to you, the school district, they listen to the civic association, but until the voters start speaking up and every mother and father write their own letter or their own email, we're not getting anything.
Maybe we need to do, the community as a whole need to do like the blanket letters like we did when
Yes,
the light,
like
the
well,
traffic
that's
light
why I
or
wanted to go
something
to
like
the
that that we
PTA
put out
meeting.
the last time.
I did a petition and a lot of people were very gung-ho and took petitions, but not a single one got handed in.
Right.
So I thought maybe if we could construct a letter, and I just handed the letter out that they just have to sign and mail it, and let's flood them with letters, I'm hoping, and emails.
And then we can put one out, maybe you can put one out via email to make it easier for people here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that resource other than through
Right.
soccer, but maybe the
PTAs
PTAs and PTSAs.
In addition, I think because
Being that it's like a health and safety issue, would we be able to get it on the school website? Being that it's a health and safety issue to our students?
I don't know.
I don't know if we're allowed to do
Alright.
that, but
Okay,
we can
just
take
was
it
worth
off.
a shot, guys.
But it doesn't mean that everybody that's sitting in this room can put on their Facebook page or their
Okay.
Instagram page or their whatever page to get the word out and send it to their
It's
own.
just, they're
their own group.
gonna wait, and something
And you
terrible's gonna
You
happen.
should speak to Maureen Greenberg also and see about getting the Civic Association.
She
to help you
spoke
put
to
it out.
them, and,
No, but I'm saying to help you put out.
oh, no, she's already on board.
In addition, I think part of the issue is, yeah, Bruce Blakeman, because I think Hempstead Avenue is a county road, but I think Cornwall might be a town road. So, or vice versa.
There's so many other schools and buildings. I
So
mean, I
you
just
might want
think
to hit
it's,
both of them. As
I think
opposed to
it's
just
very
three.
sad when I drive through Garden City. It's very sad to me. I actually laugh. It's comical but sad. When you drive past the country club in Garden City where adults are playing tennis,
Yes.
that they have flashing speed things on either side of the country club. But we can't get anything for an elementary school. That's pretty sad. Can't
Right,
get
Ashley,
signed.
thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
So, I mean, I just find it ridiculous that we have
Right.
to beg for it.
Well, I'll be happy to, once I see the letter,
Okay,
I'll be happy to make sure people are aware of it.
thank you.
Mr. Calhoun, you have another
Yeah,
question?
just to address our issue, I know that at Cornwell, there's a back fence.
Oh, yeah.
When
Yeah.
doing that back fence,
This has been an
I
ongoing.
tried that for the last couple of years.
We've been doing this
We've
for
been
like
blocked.
15 years. We've been blocked from
you
opening
could
that.
address, since it's not an issue with the board, you could bring that.
No, the county has blocked it. Whoever lives on that block obviously knows somebody.
Well, that's,
Oh, they know somebody because they get it blocked. We
We've
have
got
a no
letters.
parking sign.
I mean, that's I'm trying to get that
I
clear.
tried that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
that-
we appreciate
Just to
the,
follow up.
Yeah.
Is there a makeup date for those other presentations?
I'll get them to you. when we do.
Thank you.
Because the county told us we can't.
What are they gonna do, slap down the?
They repeatedly sent us letters advising that we can't, we couldn't do.
What are they gonna
And we
do?
got in trouble
I
for it.
asked for a study, they told me no.
What are they gonna do?
It might be the town.
What can they do, Chris, on that? If you
Former
open the gate.
Hefner resident.
No, wait a second, Vinnie, you just asked Chris a question.
sorry.
I was saying, I'm sorry, because I don't have
What
a
can,
handle like
what
this.
can they do if you open the gate?
They can't put the sheriff, they can't bring a sheriff back.
What can they do?
They're limited in terms of what they can direct you to do. They can direct you if you don't comply. There'll be a court action, but other than that, there's not much.
I don't think they wanna go down that road. You know what I'm saying?
It's been an issue all the way back to Tony Cali. We've been fighting this when I was
I know, but I'm
PTA
saying-
president and before that.
Maybe you should test them. Open the gate and test them.
I mean, when Joe Bartok was still there, then we had.
What can they-
Trying to protect people's
But
lives.
we did it.
You guys want-
We did that, and then they made us close it again. We just did it in the last 2
Well, they
years.
sent you a letter saying close it, and then if you don't close it, what happens?
They send a nasty letter.
They sent a different letter,
And then
sending
you
it to your house, then.
Go on.
Right.
I don't give a.
Have you met my cousin Vinny?
You had a question?
Just to share, we have a brand new county legislator, John Gouffre, who represents that area over by Cornwall, and he's looking to make a name for himself. So you might want to reach out to him. And
Maybe, yeah, good
we
idea.
can talk
I
to
think you should give it a shot.
All right, that's, definitely. Did you have your hand up, Bill?
I did.
Cornwall Avenue and Hempstead Avenue are both county roads.
Thank you. Never saw Bill put his hand up. Before. I'm not seeing any hands up in the virtual audience, but I'm gonna scan one more time. So we'll move on, and there'll be another period for residents to ask questions shortly. At this time, I need a motion to move dockets 1-275 through 1-278.
So moved.
Any questions?
Yeah, I just noticed something.
Killing me. On which one?
Sorry, on the.
Oh, wait. I did the wrong one. Sorry, my bad. Disregard what I just said.
Okay.
I am motion to move dockets 1-275 through 1-277.
So moved.
Thank you.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye, motion passes. I need a motion to move dockets 1-279 through 1-282.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes. I just noticed that our October calendar for that,
Mhm.
it's one of those years for like every holiday's on a Tuesday in the Jewish calendar. I know you probably can't move both, but the October 4th one is the night of Yom Kippur. Since it's a
the
policy
fifth, that's a
meeting,
policy meeting.
can we move that to November? Is it a problem to just have the policy meeting in a different month?
Well, can I just move it to a different day?
Yeah, you can do that. Figure it Tuesdays. Figure it so it's Tuesdays.
Like, can we just move it to a different day? That would just
Yeah.
delay so much.
Avoid Tuesdays and Wednesdays and October.
But what
Mondays
time,
to Tuesdays.
but when does Yom Kippur
That
end?
night, so that's the night, it starts that night.
It starts the
Yeah, it
Tuesday
starts the
and
night.
ends the Wednesday,
The
but at
18th is also a
sundown
holiday,
or-
but it ends right before, so in theory, someone can run here and.
But so, does it end at sundown on Yom Kippur? Like, I
No,
don't,
that's the start of it, so it starts at sundown. So
on
you,
Tuesday, but
Yeah,
on
Tuesday.
Wednesday, when does it end?
it's sundown.
So we could technically have the meeting on
Yeah, I
Wednesday.
looked at sundown, you should be okay, it's
So that's
close,
a
but
school
it's.
day off. Does anybody care?
What day off?
The Wednesday, the 5th of October instead of.
It's close,
Tuesday
it's
before.
like a 45-minute difference you can make it in terms of if someone.
Yeah. Anybody want to shake their head or do anything? Everybody's okay with that? Yeah.
I don't play that far in advance.
So we're going to, we're gonna move that meeting to October 5th, so we're gonna,
Thank you.
move 1-279 as amended. Anybody else have any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion. And a motion to move dockets 1-283 through 1-285.
So moved.
I need a motion to move dockets 1-286 through 1-297.
So moved. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. I need a motion to move up docket 1-298 as amended to remove the permits for West Hempstead Little League until we check the permits and who put them in and if that's the combined West Hempstead Garden City South Little League or if all of a sudden a new West Hempstead Little League came into play that we don't know about. So we'll approve those at the next meeting.
So moved. Sorry.
Kurt, was that you?
Yeah.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I need a motion to move dockets 1-257 through 1-266.
So moved.
Second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion passes. I need a motion to move 1-267 through 1-268.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And a motion to move docket 1-299.
Move.
Second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Board privilege of the floor would have been my opportunity to speak about Asha and the cheerleaders. So once again, I want to congratulate the West Hempstead Rams cheerleaders for all their effort and their wonderful representation of the district while in Florida, and thank Ms. Longo and Ms. Seawick and Mr. Estrada for accompanying them on their trip. And I hope they had a wonderful time as well. At least it was warmer there. In addition, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has come out and supported the board thus far this year. So future meeting dates are on the back of the agenda, and we've now reached the period for district residents, Island Park residents, and or employees of the district to address the board. Should know this by heart. This individual will be limited to 3 minutes of non-confidential agenda items with an overall maximum of 20 minutes for this part of the meeting, should they be needed. If you're in the virtual audience and you have a question, please raise your hand on the computer, like literally your hand on the computer. And if you're in this audience and you have a question, please raise your hand so I can see you. This is happening.
Yeah, policy number 6300, adult continuing ed, are you bringing that back?
I would love to bring that back. It's just a reaffirmed policy that says we can have it. I would have for years actually advocated to bring back programs like that, but
We wrote a grant that we're waiting to hear back on. It's been successful. I think I have the number right here, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while. It's a 5-year grant, and each year we would receive approximately $840,000. And one of the things we're going to do with that, besides helping the students throughout the year and in the summer, is work with adults, families. So sort of like adult ed, but we did write that into the grant, so we're still waiting to hear. So that'll be exciting to be part of.
I mean, in my opinion, I could see an adult ed program. I mean, I look at some of the districts that still offer them. And I would imagine that's a great way also to get the community to support public education and all we do here.
Agreed. I don't know why I was going to read that. I'm going somewhere with this. Do we have any other questions in the audience? Okay, let me see if I have any hands up in the virtual audience. Mrs. Merle, I see your hand up. You want to unmute?
Hi, yes, Emily Merle, district resident. So, did the calendar not get approved for next year?
The calendar, there was an issue with the calendar based on the amount of days, and we're waiting. We're in a conversation with Leah regarding it, and we will be addressing the calendar at the next meeting.
Okay. Just so you know, at the bottom of the calendar where it lists time on, it says the winter break is just December 26th through December 30th, not January 2nd.
Oh, well, then they have to come back to school.
Okay, just checking.
No, we'll correct it.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions from the virtual audience? I'm waiting for something to pop up, but it's not Ms. Mataraki. Question.
In next year's calendar, will there be snow days built back in?
No, everything, the contract, the way the contract is written, every day has to be made up.
What contract?
Contract.
The teacher's contract? Oh.
So every day that we take off, we make up.
So because of the teacher's contract, that's why there's no snow days? I'm asking.
Yeah.
Oh.
There are
That's the way it was
184
written.
days in the school calendar that the teachers must attend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it kind of plays itself out the same way, because in the past, there would have been less days, but we didn't take them back. Now we take, or more days and we didn't take them back, but now we take them back. We're at a set amount of days, but we have to build back until we hit that amount of days.
Okay.
Students have 181.
Do you have any other questions? I'm going to look virtually one more time, because we have a very large executive session. Okay, so with that being said, I need a motion to move into executive session. Second. That's a lot of seconds. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. And I just want to say, outside of the context of the board meeting, everybody please wish Mr. Musketi a happy birthday.
Aww.
Took time out of his day today to come and spend it with us. Honorary break. Go ahead.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friend. Happy birthday to you.
Well, I didn't ask him to sing, but that was very wonderful. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Remember, we're here every week in March, just in case you want to come visit us.